Yeah, hold on, I gotta. Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga, and today is the 1st of June, 2021. We're going to start in ordinary fashion. Just lying on your back, watching your breath. Noticing how you got here and why you got here. Patting yourself on the back for having the wherewithal and the motivation to come and move with us. I love my body loves me. And take a couple more breaths. And then we'll do vagus nerve reset. You can bring your hands behind your head. Stacked fingers or interlaced fingers. And without moving anything else, with your eyes open or closed, go ahead and shift your eyeballs to the right. Now wait for an involuntary sigh, yawn, swallow, or gulp. Come back to center. Eyeballs left. Wait for an involuntary sigh, sigh, yawn, swallow, or gulp. I was trying to put swallow and yawn together. Come back to center and do this 2 more times without any cueing from me. Right, left, right, left. Come back to center. Stay here. You can put your hands beside your hips, beside your torso or your hips if you want. We're going to just do an extended exhale breathing practice. So inhaling and counting the length of the inhale, maybe a count of 3, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5. On your exhale, make your exhale longer than your inhale. If you can, make your exhale twice as long, but that might take practice, repetition, building up. Just inhale and then make your exhale longer. It's called extended exhale breath. Two more breaths. And now we're going to do hypopressives bridging. So your heels are on the floor, your knees are bent, your heels are on the floor, your toes are towards the ceiling. Your arms are by your side. And then we're going to take 3 breaths. And then when you're holding your breath out, and Kathy's going to demonstrate it now, on an inhale, you lift your hips, and on an exhale, you bring your arms overhead. And then counting to 15. And inhale, hips come down. This is at the end of the hold. And exhale, the arms come down. Okay, we're going to do it 3 times, 3 of these. Bridging hypopressives. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale all the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. Lift your hips, bring your arms overhead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay as long as you can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale, hips down. Exhale, arms down. Just rest for a minute. Three breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale all the way out. No breath. Hold your breath. Lift your hips. Bring your arms overhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale, hips come down, and exhale, the arms come down. Wiggle if you want, and we'll do one more set. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale all the way out. Hold your breath out. No breath. Lift your hips. Bring your arms overhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale, hips come down, and exhale, the arms come down. Okay, grab your sponge ball, put it under your head at the back at the occipital ridge. We're going to do head ramping on a sponge ball. It's just one of the variations, one of the head ramping variations. Press your head in, press the back of your skull into the ball. And the skull slides away from the shoulders. And stay here. Keep breathing for a couple breaths. And then release. And do it again. Press your skull into the ball, into the floor. And hold. Keep breathing. And release. And let's just 4 more of these on your own. And come on back. And let's go right down to the floor. For our sideline practice. I'm going to try to put my computer on the floor so I can join you. So you're lying on your side with your head on a thick brick, with your knees bent and stacked, your shoulders stacked. And we're going to do this in triplets, sets of 3. And the first set is with your arm out, parallel, your top arm parallel to, hold on, let me get this auxiliary speaker back in place. Okay. Arm is out in front of you. And then you're doing a scapula, protraction, retraction. So using the scapula and then just moving the scapula away from the spine, which moves your arm forward, initiating at the scapula, and then coming back, retracting, moving the scapula towards the spine. And then let's do 5 more of these. Protraction and retraction using your breath. So maybe you'll want to inhale as you protract and exhale as you retract. Using your breath, breathing through your nose. This is the general rule. Last one. And then just take your arm and rest it along your side just until we go to the next movement. If you're doing these right, if you're doing these carefully with attention to detail and breath and movement, you'll be tired and then after the set. If you have more time at home, you could do 2 more sets and you could increase. Well, I think you would fatigue your scapula if you increased it to 10 or 12. You would get tired earlier. Next move is called sunrise, sunset. Just take your arm straight up to the ceiling and then bring it back down to in front of you parallel. So this is more of an arm bone movement. Lateral, abduction, adduction. You don't need to know that. It's also the short popular name is sunrise, sunset. Try not to move your torso or your face. Two more. One of the things I like about this side-lying series, it's a lot of good work, detail work, but no gravity. You don't have to fight gravity as much as you do when you're seated or standing. Go ahead and rest. And the last in this triplet is bring your arm up toward the ceiling. I like to put my bottom fingers on the front of my arm bone because you're going to do internal, external rotation. Make a fist so you try not to use the wrist to do the movement. Use the head of the arm bone. Moving forward as you can go. And then that's an internal rotation. And then moving backward as far as you can go, an external rotation. And then keep going, keep the fist soft. All the work is at the head of the arm bone. Do 6 of these. One more. And just rest when you're done. That was the first three triplets for the shoulder. We're going to do 3 more triplets for the shoulder. The first thing we're going to do is technical snow angels. So your arm, you're going to externally rotate one more time. So the palm is facing the ceiling. Then bring your arm up and over by your ear. By the time you come to the overhead arm position, your palm is facing the floor. Now, make another rotation it's still it's a little less, but and the palm is facing forward. And now you're going to come all the way back down to your hip. And then palm up. But remember, the movement is at the arm bone. Up and over. Palm facing forward and return. We're going to do 4 more of these. Up. And by the time you come to your arm is overhead, the palm is facing down. And then forward, palm forward. I think this is number 4. And come back. Slowly is better. Number 5. come on back. Last one. And nice. Let's just rest for a minute, take some breaths. What was that like? What is it like now after you've done the movement? Now we're going to do shoulder circles, straight arm shoulder circles, unless if it becomes too much, this is called a long lever circle. You could put your hand, demonstrate this one, Kathy, put your bend your elbow and make a short lever or a short clock, shoulder clock. So this is another way to do it. And this is another way to do it if you don't have room to do the other one too. So straight arm, preference number one, but all option, bent elbow. Just making a big old circle, going to the back first. Slow and easy. This will make a huge difference in your ability to move your arm bone in the socket easily. Last one. Let's rest a minute before we go forward. So we started going backward, circling backward. And now let's go ahead and go forward. Forward, circle forward by your ear, behind you, by your hip, number two. And this is number five. And then number six. Rest for a minute. See what that feels like. Actually, you'll know more in the end when you're standing or moving around for the rest of the day. The next thing and last of this triplet, the shoulder triplet, where it is a flying pizza. Bend your elbow of the top arm, tuck it into your waist, keep it there. Palm is facing down, but as you bring your forearm up, the palm and the wrist rotate so the palm is facing towards your ear. And try to keep a 90-degree angle if you can. And keep going. Flying pizza. You should feel this behind the shoulder blade. This is strengthening the rotator cuff muscles, which wrap around the shoulder scapula. I think that was number six, but maybe not. If it wasn't six, let's do another one. And come on back. Okay. All of the shoulder movements are done. Let's do the first leg triplet. Straighten your legs. At least straighten the top leg. Hold on, I'm going to move my chair. You have to have enough room to have your leg move behind you eventually. So straighten your leg, top leg, droop your toes, and then lift and lower. Try to just move the leg, nothing else. Every shoulders are stacked. Don't go too high. If you go too high, you'll start to feel it as if it were a flexion, which is a forward movement. I think Jane Fonda probably went too high. I mean, it looked really pretty, but she wasn't using the muscles that need to be used. Are you counting, Kathy?
I was not.
I think this is the last one. And rest, just bend your knees and rest. So that was just a hip abduction, adduction. Now, the next one is forward and back, hip flexion. So you can add footwork by dorsiflexing when you come forward, plantar flexing or pointing backward when you go back. So dorsiflex, point the toes towards your nose. And so the hip is moving, the ankle is moving, the toes. And then when you go back, when you extend, that's the backward movement. You can also squeeze your glute and then let it go and come forward. So you can get a lot of work in here for just one movement. Try not to move anything else. Relax your face. Not going to help you if you're tensing your jaw. Let's do two more. Last one. And come on back. Bend your knees and bring them a little bit closer to your face. And we're just going to do to close this set. We're going to do just clams, straight up shoulder clam, leg clams, hip clams. Just the knee moves away from the top knee moves away from the bottom knee. You ought to be able to feel the work on the muscles on the inner thigh and outer thigh. And stop. Rest. That was the first three triplets for the legs. We're going to do three more. We're going to start with clams with resistance. So this time, you might want to move your knees a little closer to your face. Put your top hand on your top knee, and then go ahead and move the knee away from the bottom knee with resistance. So when you move, the hand is resisting the upward movement. When the hand is coming down, the knee is resisting the downward movement of the hand. So you're always moving and always resisting. You don't have to, it's not a big war. It's a, it's a sort of a new, it's a nice resistance, but it's not too much. So don't fight. Don't feel like you're fighting. Feel like you're just gently resisting as you go up and down, both directions. Let's do one more. And stop. Now let's do the mermaid.
Oh.
The mermaid is on a brick. I think the best brick for a mermaid is something that you may or may not have, which is this one. I know Leslie has it. I mean, Caitlin. Haven't done that in a long time. Okay. And you're just going to put your bottom hip on it. Take your legs out. And you can use a thick brick too, if it's too much. You're going to want to have it the other direction, I think, Kathy. So your hip is on that brick, and then you're just going to have your elbow on the floor, or you could have your arms all the way down to the floor. I'm going to be up on my elbow, and then you just lift both legs and lower them. And you should feel the work at the QL. And just hold and then lower. So we're going to do this about 6 times. So up and down you go. You should feel it at the QL. Waist. Up. Mermaid. Up. And one more, 2 more. And down. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is it's a kind of a plank. You're going to put your top leg on a brick or a chair, something higher. Whoops, I think it might have to be 2 bricks, 2 fat bricks for a chair. And then, where's my other brick? And then you're going to have the top leg on that platform and bring the bottom leg up to that if you can. Otherwise, if you can't bring your bottom leg up, which is okay, I want you to just bring your hips up, and you can keep the bottom leg on the floor. So bring your hips up. And again. It's a little like the one we just did, just a little bit different. Up.
You know, it might be easier if my legs on the couch.
You can try it on the couch. See if it's easier higher.
Yeah, it is.
So if you can find a place, not 2 bricks, but instead of a chair, do that. A box. Up and down. Do 2 more. Remind me, this is, you know, I learned this with using the bricks, but I think this is much better to have it up higher.
Yeah.
Much easier. So the higher you can get, the better off you are. Let's go ahead and flip to the other side, you guys. Put your head on a brick, on a thick brick. And remember, so let's see if you can remember. I'll test Kathy. So what's the first one? Scapula protraction, retraction. Let's do 6 of those. And remember to come back as far as you can. So get the scapula, really press the scapula towards the spine. And one more. Or not. And then rest. The second one is what, Kathy? You can say it if you have a name for it. Sunrise, sunset.
Yep.
So the arm comes up. I mean, maybe I should still be cueing this. And the arm comes down to parallel. And the arm goes up to the sky. And do this slowly with awareness. This is an arm bone movement. It's not a scapular movement. Two more. Last one. Remember your breath. And then go ahead and rest. Take some breaths. And the last of the set is called internal external rotation of the arm bone. You're just going to move the head of the arm bone forward. I like to put my fingers right in front of that bone so I can feel this, what happens here. And then you go backward. That's an external rotation. Make a fist with your arm so that you will avoid the tendency to use your wrist to do the movement. You want to initiate at the arm bone. Internal rotation, external rotation. This whole shoulder series could help you treat a frozen shoulder or avoid frozen shoulder. Well, there's some smaller movements that you probably do first if you actually have had, if you are experiencing frozen shoulder. But eventually you would get to these movements. And stop and rest. We're going to do 3 more for the shoulders. You can do this on the couch, June. This is a couch practice. You'd have to flip to the other end of the couch after you did the first side. The next thing we're going to do, make sure you have a room to bring your arm overhead. And you're going to rotate, externally rotate so the palm is up, and then bring the arm slowly up by the ear and over. The palm will be actually facing down. Then change the direction. Palm is forward, and then bring your arm all the way back to your hip. This is a half with a side lying, half snow angel. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Last one. Okay, rest for a minute, or maybe not a minute, maybe 30 seconds. And then we're going to start circles, shoulder circles. Make sure you have enough room to go all the way behind you. Straight arm behind you, and then up by your ear and forward. Keep the knees stacked and even. Don't move your torso. And 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and rest. And then start circling forward. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one, 6. And what's the next one, Kathy?
Flying pizza.
Flying pizza. Okay, flying pizza, starting with your elbows bent. So top elbow bent, palm facing down. And then as you rotate your forearm and your wrist, the palm faces towards your ear. And then come on down. You should feel this in the back of the scapula. It's almost like a sneaky way to squeeze the scapula. Two more. I may be off a little, but not far. Last one. And stop. And rest. Now we're going to do some leg work. 3 triplets on the legs. And you're going to straighten your top leg, droop your toes, and lift. Try not to move anything except the femur, the thigh bone. Last one. And now you're going to move your leg backward and forward, flexion and extension. And when you move forward, add some footwork by dorsiflexing so the toes are coming towards your nose. And as you move your leg backward, that's called extension. Point the toes behind you. When you get to the end of your extension, squeeze your glutes. Let's do one more. And then come back and bend your knees and bring them a little bit closer to your face for clams, standard clams. And just bring your knee away from the top knee away from the bottom knee. So keep your hips stacked so that you're not moving backwards with your hips. It's all remains in the leg. One more. And stop. We're going to do three more hip things. You're going to need a chair or something high for the last one. So Kathy might have for the last one, she might have to do it with it back facing me, maybe. Or maybe that chair. Okay. The first one we're going to do is the clams, but with resistance. Your top knee is moving. Your top hand is on the knee and resisting the movement, and you're resisting both directions. Let's call this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and stop. The next thing you're going to do is Mermaid. Your hip is on a block. I recommend, if you don't already have one, these are available on Amazon. You order a thin brick so that you're not on such a narrow, you're not like a watermelon on a toothpick. Someone said to me the other day. It's actually a versatile brick. It's not the most common yoga brick, but your hip is your bottom hip, your bottom leg, your bottom hip is on this brick, whatever you have. And then all you're going to do, you're on your elbow, or if you can't be on your elbow, you might be able to find a place dropping all the way to your shoulder, all the way to the ground. That will work too. And all you're going to do is take your legs, both legs up and off the floor. Up and off the floor. Oh. And one more. And stop. The next one, similar, no brick, but put your leg on a chair or something higher than a brick if you have it. I hope. Your top leg, and then bring your bottom leg up to meet it, or just your hips. So top leg is high, and then you're just going to bring up. So your knee can still be on the floor, and then come on up. You can feel this in the waist. This is actually a waist twiddler, among other things.
Well, I can't do it.
And down. And up. I think this is number 4. And down. 2 more. And down. 1 more. And down. Okay, come to a floor seated position. We're going to do a side bend and a spine twist from a floor seated position. Starting with your right arm and sliding it along the floor. The other arm up and over. I'm going to find the timer. And give you 40 seconds here, although you're going to have a little more on this side. Up and over. Nice side bend. Feel the stretch. And now go ahead and drop your elbow forward for a slightly different stretch. Still side bending. Elbow forward. Come on back, elbow first, and then the whole torso comes up to seated. Other side, left arm slides along the mat, the floor, right arm up and over. Go ahead and bring your elbow forward. And elbow up, and then the entire body up. Cross your legs, switch the cross of your legs for a spine twist on the floor, seated. Take your left hand on your right knee, take your right arm behind you, spider fingers, rotate the spine, the thoracic spine. And then while you're here, if you choose, you can, keeping the spine twist, you can start to move your rib cage from side to side. So rib cage glide without involving your upper trapezius. So relax, keep the shoulders relaxed. Come all the way out, untangle, come to the other side. Right hand on left knee, left hand behind you, spider fingers on the floor. Rotate, so find your thoracic spine twist. And then if you choose, go ahead and glide the rib cage from side to side, but maintain your spine twist. You don't let go of that. The rib cage glide is just a bonus. Try to keep it out of the shoulders, out of the upper trapezius. Just like a dancing skeleton. And come on out, unwind. And find your way onto the mat for the Yoga Nidra, the closing Yoga Nidra meditation and practice. Lying on your back, you can bend your knees and have your feet on the floor, or you can bend your knees and have your bent knees up on a chair. You could also extend your legs. You may want to cover up with a blanket. You may want to put a washcloth over your eyes. Let your eyeballs sink deeply into the sockets. And then start to notice your breath. Just watching the belly rise and fall with your breath. Now bring your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, and center of your eyebrows. This completes your 61-point guided Yoga Nidra meditation. It's time to start to wiggle. Bring your attention back to your room and the body. Wiggling, bringing your arms overhead, legs straight out. Trying to stretch, and right side, left side, both sides. Creating a little more space at the waist. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rotating your wrists and your ankles in one direction and then the other. Hugging your right knee to your chest. And then your left knee. Hug your left knee to your chest. Hug both knees to your chest. And rock and roll from side to side.
Bless you.
And then whenever you're ready, roll all the way over to one side with your bottom arm as a pillow. And use the top palm of your top arm to lift yourself up to seated without rounding your back. Unmute yourself, everybody. I'm going to remove the spotlight. I'm going to change my view to gallery. You may want to do that too. We're going to close the class in the ordinary fashion. Put your hands into prayer pose. Press the palms together very strongly at first. See if you can find some of the shoulder work we did today. And now release and just soften your prayer pose. And then with your spine straight, your cervical spine straight, just roll the skull forward, nodding, bowing, acknowledging the light in each of us, honoring that light, and knowing that we're all one light. Let's close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I have to go to a second menu.